Hey y'all, happy Sunday. If it's Sunday for you, it's Sunday for me. My name is Malika. This is Malika on the Move. And just sitting here, I thought I would come and talk to you guys. I'm behind in what I was supposed to be doing today, but what I was doing was, aside from some cleaning, which is why I look a hot mess today, I didn't even want to get out of my pajamas, y'all, okay? So I put on this muumuu, and my hair is a mess, and I really don't even care. It is what it is. I'm hot. It is very black clouds outside. It rained late last night, and I think it's gonna rain again. But wait a minute. Here's the funny part. On my phone for the weather for Concau, Merida area, it says severe cold warning. Really? How cold do they really think it's gonna be? So I looked on that cold warning, and at the most, at night, it's gonna be like 65 degrees. Really? A cold warning for that? Makes no sense. But I will tell you, living in hot climates, whether it's, you know, Florida, hot, humid climates like Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, or when I was in Thailand, when you live in those hot, humid climates, when it gets to be 65 degrees, it is cold to you. You need a sweater, a hoodie, or something, you know, and most people will be like, oh, this is beautiful weather. I'm freezing. So anywho, today, I'm sitting here, y'all gonna watch me snap my string beans for dinner. Like I said, I'm running late. So after I did some mopping, I repotted some plants, and that's one of the reasons why I am here to talk to you today. So prior to me moving to Thailand, in my past life, I owned several houses that I've lived in. And one of the things that I found myself doing, which most of us do, you fill that house up with crap, just material stuff, whether it's furniture, artwork, knickknacks on the table, just a bunch of stuff. And a lot of it doesn't even serve a purpose. There's no reason for it other than to fill a space that might be empty. Or, you know, you look at a corner of a room and say something, you know, it looks weird, something needs to be there. So you buy a table, you buy a stool, a bench, a chair, something, and you put, excuse me, something there to fill that space. But like I said, it necessarily doesn't have a purpose. So when I sold my last home and moved to Thailand, by that time I was fed up. I was fed up with decorating. I was fed up with having a bunch of stuff that had no meaning to it. I knew that I wanted my life to be more experiences, excuse me, and less stuff, right? So here I am in Mexico, renting a home that I needed to furnish. Go figure. It feels like I'm going backwards. But I made a commitment to myself that I was not filling this home with stuff. I am not buying a lot of furniture. I'm not buying all the knickknacks for the tables and artwork for all of the walls and all of that other garbage. I'm not doing it. I'm going to continue my commitment to minimal life, right? So in keeping with the tropical environment that I am in, and the way that a lot of people decorate in tropical environments is to try to bring some of that outdoor tropical feel into your home. And the way you do that is with plants. And plants are a good filler. Let's say you have a corner of the room, maybe that wall is, excuse me, maybe you got a 9-foot wall, 9-foot ceilings. Ew. And maybe the space is maybe about 4.5 feet wide. A big old plant and a big old planter will take up that whole space. And if it's tall enough and your planter is tall enough, it'll go up that wall where that will eliminate the need for a piece of artwork or a piece of furniture. And there's benefits to having a plant. So NASA has put out a list, and many other entities have put out lists of plants that are very beneficial for your air in your home. And plants are good for your well-being and your stress levels and, you know, your, I don't know, what do they call those? Your endorphins and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, they put out a list of plants that are very good for cleaning the air in your environment. And just be careful though. Okay, so if you have asthma or allergies or somebody in your family, you need to get on Google. There's a list, and I ain't gonna name them. There's a list of maybe only about 8 plants that if you have asthma or allergies, you really shouldn't have in your home because it's just gonna make it worse. But that's not bad considering the thousands of different varieties of plants you can grow indoors. 8 plants ain't that bad. And you also have to be mindful that there are pretty much all the plants, except for, you know, some, are toxic to animals, cats and dogs, and even small children. You know, if you have a toddler, they put everything in their mouth if they're on the floor, and a lot of these plants, if they drop the leaves and one of those babies, you know, pick up one of those leaves and put it in their mouth, that some of these plants are very poisonous. So, you know, you want to make sure that you check before you go out and buy plants to see what is good for your home, for your situation. So here in Mexico, I went to a plant nursery or garden center, whatever you want to call it, and they call them viveros, V-I-V-E-R-O. And now you can buy plants at Home Depot if you want to. I have in the past, never indoors, but I bought outdoor plants. And I can say maybe it's a 50-50 type situation. So 50% of the plants that you may buy at Home Depot will actually thrive. And then 50% of them will probably die within a week. So, you know, take your chances, because Home Depot is not a plant specialist. They specialize in things for your home. They just happen to have a garden center, so they don't know what they're doing, and neither do those plants. But the beauty with a local vivero is that's all they do. They specialize in plants. They know what type of light they need to be in, what type of soil they need to be in, what type of nutrients. You know that they're going to be well cared for, as well as the staff is going to be well knowledgeable on the plants that they sell. So that is a definite bonus. Now, when you go Googling a vivero in Merida area, you'll find a ton of them are going to pop out, right? So I would recommend to you that you look at the photos, the Google photos at the least, or go to their website if they have one, or their Facebook page if they have one, to see exactly what they have. And the reason why I say that is because some viveros specialize in more smaller outdoor plants, like smaller bushes and things like that, outdoor flowers, and as well as indoor plants. And some only specialize in grass, sod, and ginormous palm trees and big giant shrubberies like those Edward Scissorhand type sculpture bushes and stuff like that. So you don't want to go to the wrong one. If you're looking for house plants, you don't want to go to one that has 20 feet tall palm trees, right? So the one that I went to is called Vivero Paraiso, P-A-R-A-I-S-O, Paraiso, I don't know. And it's in the Monte Cristo area of Merida. Just remember the sandwich, Monte Cristo, you will know. And that's nasty. The reason why I picked this particular one, because I looked at some article on Google that said the best 5 viveros in Merida. and that was pretty much at the top. But I liked it because that article said that they have very wide aisles for you to walk in. The plants are neatly arranged, and the aisles are nice and wide for you to walk in. They're not like real rocky, they're not muddy, so if it's rain, there's not going to be big puddles of water. And the hanging plants are spaced far enough away that you're not going to have the trailing vines touching you all on the neck or in the head because it's outside still. So that means that there's going to be bugs, and I do not want to be brushing up against all of these plants and have bugs on my legs potentially, or have some vines hanging down on my neck, touching me on my neck or my head, and then the next thing you know, I got a giant spider in my hair or on my neck or whatever. So that was a bonus. Now, I did intend to make a video while I was there to show you the place, but it has been insanely hot the last couple of days, more so than I think the past 2 weeks. And walking outside amongst all those plants in the heat, I was drenched in sweat. And the little bodega where you go when you pay had 2 big pumping air conditions and a fan, and that's all I could think about was hurry up, pick these plants and get inside of that little bodega so I could cool down. So I wasn't thinking about a video. I apologize. What else did I want to tell you about these plants? Okay, so you say, Malika, I don't have a green thumb. I'm gonna kill it. I kill all my plants. That's quite possible. So I used to think that too, and only thing that I would buy was pothos because those are very resilient. Well, if you are a beginner, here we go again, get on Google. There's a whole list of plants for beginners on Google. There's a whole list of plants that are virtually indestructible. If you neglect them, you don't have the right light, you don't have the right amount of water, or you don't water them. For the most part, there's some very forgiving plants out there for beginners. And as you learn, you will get better. You will start becoming more proficient at knowing how to take care of your plants so they will survive and so they will thrive. So don't think that you're gonna kill everything that comes in contact with your hands or in your house. That's not necessarily true. I would encourage you to give it a try. Now I'm gonna show you my plants that I purchased, and like I said, I primarily used to buy plants only for outside, except for the pothos, because everybody knows those are really difficult to kill. And, but I bought some different types of plants this time, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna, do my research and see what they like and what they don't like. And the last 2 days, I've been getting up saying, good morning, guys. Because there was a study that they had 2 plants, and one plant, they spoke nicely to it and I guess played it in music. I don't know, whatever they did to it. And then the other plant, they called it names and they talked to it really nasty and mean, and they neglected it sometimes, verbally. And that plant did not thrive. The plant that was spoken to nicely and was talked to on a regular basis actually bloomed and thrived and did what a healthy plant should do. So there's some connection to that. So I've been getting up in the morning. When I come and I open up my blinds for the plants to get their light, I say good morning. I ain't crazy. So this is another giant taro plant, and these are my coleuses. Let's see if it'll focus. I don't know the names of them. I've had very good luck growing coleus outside. Okay, I have another giant taro plant, and this one, I call it a corn plant, but there are other names for it. I can't remember them offhand, but these are succulents. I wouldn't have thought they were, but they are. And they grow on this wooden stalk thing like. So this is the same plant. I think it's more than one bulb. These grow from a bulb. So I think they're more than one bulb, but I'm hoping that the one inside gets half as big as this. It'll be amazing. This is my prayer plant. I didn't know it was a prayer plant at first until it closed up at night. This is a Dieffenbachia, and I've never seen it on a stem like that. I don't know how they did that. Maybe they trimmed it, or maybe it's just this species that grows like that, but because it looks like it's coming just out the top of the stem right there. And then this, it's like a stick. So we're gonna see what happens with this one, if it's gonna get big and bushy at the top. And then the pothos you're aware of, but here they call it a telephono plant. And it kind of reminds me, when you think about it, you see the vines that, remember when you were a kid, or maybe I'm dating myself as far as age, but when you had the 2 soup cans and a string and you used to try to make a telephone with those. So I'm assuming that's what this long string represents. That's why they call it a telephono plant. But I purchased some cocoa coir poles from Amazon. They are made out of cocoa fibers, and they go down in your plant because these, of course, have sucker things on them that will adhere to make a climbing vine. So I'm gonna wrap them up really tall to make them climb up, as opposed to, you'll see a lot of people have these hanging down and then these vines will be draping, but I'm going to let my vines climb. We're all familiar with this plant. They're either called snake plants, dragon plants, mother-in-law tongue, probably some other stuff too. They're Sansevieria or Sansevieria. These are very good for the environment, for cleaning the air, and is recommended by NASA for air cleaning. So they're good in a bathroom, in a bedroom, especially in the bedroom. What you need to know is these roots grow shallow and wide. So you need a wide container as opposed to a deep one, because they're not going to go deep. And the roots for these are very, very strong, and they will bust through your containers. If you've ever bought one and noticed your container split, it's not that it's a cheap container, it's this. This is another Dieffenbachia, but it's not, well, it does look like it's growing on a stalk a little bit. Not the same as the other one, but maybe it'll get taller as time goes on. This is my Monstera Delicioso, and I am hoping that this Monstera does well. I hope I don't kill it, but these Monsteras will grow, oh my God, they'll grow like 12 feet tall and take up this whole wall. So this little piece of pothos I got out the front yard, and I just put it in a jar and got roots on it. And then I put it in this itty bitty tiny plant because it's going on top of this lady right here. Okay, so on another note, the next thing I want to tell you is a little tip. So I had a driver while I went to this vivero, because I had a few other stops that I wanted to make that day. And we were talking about speaking Spanish. And because I mentioned that he speaks very good English, right? And I asked him, you know, how'd you do it? And he was telling me that he went to, well, not only in middle school and in high school, but he went to college for hospitality and tourism, and English classes were part of that. Plus, he mentioned, which I hear a lot, and I don't understand how that works for them, but not for us, at least me, is that he watched a lot of English movies. I hear that all the time. I heard it from Asians. I watch English movies, and that's how I learned to speak English, or listen to English music sung in English. I can listen to Spanish stuff. That don't mean I'm gonna learn it from a movie or a song. I've tried. So, with that said, here's the tip he gave me. He told me you have to go back well, let me rephrase this first. There's a common misconception that children learn languages faster because they're children. Now, children do learn languages faster, it seems, but not because they're children. They don't have some magical little language DNA that helps them to absorb and learn languages better. They're no different than we are. The thing is how they learn, right? So he recommended to me, you need to learn like a child would learn. Meaning, when a child is not concerned with grammar, okay? When a child wants a drink of water, like a child just learning to speak, wants a drink of water, they don't say, Mommy, can I have a glass of water? Or Daddy, can I have a glass of water? All they'll say is, Mommy, water. Or Mommy, wawa, or whatever. Or if they want to be picked up, they don't say, Mommy, pick me up. They just up. They just use the word. You know what they're saying. You give your kid the water, you give them the pick them up, or you give them the juice, or whatever they want, they communicate in single words. And he said, that's how you have to approach Spanish. He said, forget about the grammar stuff. Learn your individual words first. Use them. He said, the Spanish-speaking people will understand that you're not, a fluent Spanish speaker. So if you say to them, say for instance, you want to know, do they have delivery service? And you just say entrega. They know, yeah, see, we deliver. Okay, you don't have to say, do you offer delivery service? Or do you deliver to my home? Just ask them, entrega? Delivery? Yeah, they do. And then once you get your vocabulary expanded, and now you have this huge vocabulary of words, that is when you worry about putting in all of those fillers like verbs and adverbs and adjectives and conjunctions and prepositions and all of those things that I have no clue what they are because I've been out of school for a long time. But you understand what I'm saying. That's when you learn how to take all of these words, this vast vocabulary that you have in Spanish, and start connecting these words together, which will help you be a more fluent speaker quickly. Makes a lot of sense. So the next thing that he told me, which I had never heard of, and I kind of get where he was coming from, and I get his example because he was giving me one, but he said it will also help when you're learning to speak Spanish. He said, we speak English from our throats. He said, you're supposed to speak Spanish from your mouth. And I'm like, huh? What? He said, English is a deeper tone. Oh, it's raining. Okay. A deeper tone language because we speak from our throat. Now, I have a naturally deep voice anyway. My mother had a deep voice, and then, when you get to be a certain age and you go through the change, women's voices deepen anyway. That's going to happen to most all women. But anywho, he said you speak Spanish through your mouth, and it raises the tone of the sound of the language to soften it and make it a higher pitch. So he was using the word hola, and he was saying hola or hola, hola, hola. I kind of get it. You feel more air going through your throat, through your vocal cords when you speak from your throat as opposed to just from your mouth. You're taking in pushing less air through your vocal cords to get that sound out. If you're a singer, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. When they give you singing lessons, they tell you, to sing from your gut or stop singing from you. I don't know, whatever. I'm not a singer. So maybe you can try that at home and see if it makes a difference to you. I don't know. But he did say that it will help you with some of the pronunciations of words that are very difficult. Like, I'm about to butcher this, I'm telling you. Izquierda. I think I'm saying it right. Izquierda or izquierda, which means left. But the very first time I said it, I said izquierda, because I'm thinking squirrels, right? Don't ask me why. And the Didi driver was cracking up, and he couldn't tell me like what I was doing wrong because he speaks Spanish and I don't understand him. But I just kept saying, well, it's not right. What, izquierda? He was like, no. Okay, but it's izquierda, I think, for left, to turn left. But anywho, maybe that tip of speaking through your mouth instead of your throat will help you with those difficult words. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right to begin with, but I'm gonna try in the future because I am trying to learn, I can't even speak English right. I'm trying to learn Spanish so that I can communicate a lot better with people. And I mean, I don't think I'm doing that bad with remembering words, but I did buy index cards to make flashcards because I learn a little bit better with flashcards. So with that said, guys, I hope that you like my little tips, and I will be back one day with my plants to show you what they look like, if they're thriving, if I've murdered them, or what has happened. I've already killed a succulent. I don't know what happened, but I woke up this morning and it was mush. So it's out on the patio. Maybe it will regenerate itself. I don't know. I don't know what I did because I didn't do anything to it. I just took it upstairs and put it in my bedroom. So I don't know, but it's mush. It's just disgusting. So, you know, hey, it didn't cost that much, but you live and you learn. The succulents are not easy to care for, believe it or not. So with that said, you guys, I'm getting ready to go and get these string beans on, get me some macaroni and cheese made, and some other stuff, and get my dinner going because I'm really hungry and it's getting late. So take care, guys, and keep moving. Bye. So I just wanted to see, I've already eaten the string beans, but this macaroni and cheese, I made it in the air fryer and it turned out perfectly. Today is a meatless Sunday because I got started late and was too lazy to make the meat and the cornbread to go with my string beans. And I didn't see any yams because I really wanted some candy yams too. I just wanted to do it all up with my southern Sunday. But yeah, you know, got a late start and it was kind of late. But this macaroni and cheese is banging, and them beans, well, you see they're gone. Oh my goodness, they're so good.